Welcome back to Lavender Recap. In today's video, we'll be going through a comedic horror movie that involves a struggling musician who is infatuated by his nephew's teacher, titled Little Monsters. If you're visiting this channel for the first time, I'd love to have you as a subscriber. Spoilers ahead, so watch out and take care. The movie opens up with the introduction of Dave and Sarah, a couple who are going through bumps in their relationship. Dave is a laid-back musician who's not at all mature for his age. Sarah, on the other hand, is a corporate job holder who expects much more from what Dave is offering their relationship. Sarah wants marriage, children, and a family to call her own, but Dave is not up to the challenge and is quite stubborn about it. Due to Dave's childish nature, the two of them get into fights all the time. After long drawn-out fights, Sarah gives up and ends the relationship with Dave. Due to this, Dave moves in with his sister, who is a nurse and a single mom. Tess, Dave's sister, considers him a bad influence on her son Felix. A while into the movie, Dave confesses how he messed up with Sarah, and Tess advises him to go fix their relationship. To do so, Dave takes Felix to Sarah's apartment to help him propose to her. Sadly, something unexpected happens as Dave sees Sarah with another man. This totally shatters him, and he returns back to his sister's house. Tess still isn't very happy with Dave staying at their place and decides to give him some terms and conditions to adhere to if he wants to live there. Side note, Felix loves tractors, as in he's obsessed with them and even manages to bug Dave with his fascination of his. Well, it's great that Felix does love tractors because his fascination for this vehicle does come quite handy later on in the movie when they have to escape their encounters with zombies. Back to the story, Tess gives Dave the responsibility of taking care of Felix by babysitting him as she finds it hard to shuttle between being a mom and a nurse. Dave does as he's told and drops Felix to school the next day. That's when he sees Miss Caroline, Felix's teacher. He is totally attracted to her and decides to get to know her. But he messes up when he picks up Felix late due to his music. But he's given another opportunity to get to make it up to Miss Caroline when he overhears her speaking to another teacher about a trip. Unfortunately, the teacher who was supposed to be accompanying her to the venue had to back out at the last minute, and Dave volunteers to join the kids and Miss Caroline on the trip. The kids, Miss Caroline and Dave, are on their way to Pleasant Valley Farm when they're forced to deal with a flat tire that halts their trip abruptly. After a quick fixing of the tire, the trip is back on. Meanwhile, the U.S. Army testing facility happens to be near the farm to which the kids were going. The facility faces a mishap in which a test subject attacked a doctor. And yes, the test subject was a zombie. The security guards, on seeing this issue, a red alert, but the zombie invasion spreads like wildfire. Even though the facility was ordered to be shut down due to the red alert, the zombies got out of the facility. The invasion begins from there and slowly starts proceeding towards the areas close to its vicinity. Meanwhile, the kids, Dave and Miss Caroline, are having a great time at the farm. Even Teddy McGiggle happens to be there and entertains all the kids with his talent. The farm is filled with animals who the children feed and play with. All in all, they're having a marvelous time when the inevitable happens. The people on the outskirts of the farm included eerie-looking humans, which were in fact the zombies. The visitors on the farm are shocked by what they see, but are not able to make sense of what's going on. The zombies manage to cross over into the farm and attack a few of the visitors there, hence increasing the zombie population. Dave, Miss Caroline, and the kids are on a tractor with a tour guide who's taking them for a tour around the farm. They're stopped when they see something unusual on their way. If you're wondering what they saw that was so unusual, well, it was a zombie eating a sheep. When the tour guide gets down and goes in to analyze the situation further, she's attacked by the zombie. The tour guide screams, alerting Miss Caroline and Dave that she was in some sort of trouble. Miss Caroline assumes that it's some sort of sick stunt that the tour guide is pulling off. So she ventures towards the spot of attack and tries to make sense of what's going on. That's when the zombie who attacked the tour guide looks back at Miss Caroline and confirms that he truly is a zombie and that she's not by any chance hallucinating. Miss Caroline moves backward, trying to keep her distance from the zombie when she stumbles into a rake. She makes the split-second decision of using it as a weapon and impales the zombie with the sharp end of the rake. Dave, on the other hand, is trying to help the kids and himself escape by turning on the tractor. The tour guide was pretty much dead, and he was the only adult out there who could ride the vehicle to safety. Unfortunately, the stress of escaping the situation gets to him, and he's left fumbling with all the buttons and switches to run the vehicle. As we mentioned earlier, Felix loves tractors, and he knew how to start one. He instructs his uncle on how to do so, and to their luck, they have the vehicle running. Miss Caroline, too, escaped the wrath of the zombie and hopped onto the tractor. Miss Caroline is the main hero from here on as she guides the kids to safety after they reach a souvenir shop, which seems to be the only place void of the zombie invasion. To their dismay, the souvenir shop is locked, which they later find out is due to Teddy, who was seeking refuge from the zombies there. The friendly children loving Teddy wasn't the same person as he was on stage and chose to be selfish, keeping the kids. Dave and Miss Caroline locked out. Dave, Miss Caroline, and the kids managed to get into the shop and they end up teaching Teddy a lesson for not letting them in. Miss Caroline then gathers all the kids and sits them down on the floor of the shop and tries to reassure them. She tells the kids that they're part of a game and tries not to scare them. She further adds that they're just past level 1 and that they can get through this. That's when Teddy interrupts and tries to scare the kids with his truth, when Miss Caroline intervenes and threatens him not to scare the kids ever again or he would see the worst of her. On the other side, Felix just had a seizure as he consumed something he is allergic to. He needs his EpiPen and Dave accidentally ejects himself with it while trying to give it to Felix. Felix is still suffering from the allergy and the only other option is to get the spare EpiPen that is in his backpack. Unfortunately, the backpack was in the tractor and that was surrounded by a huge group of zombies. Miss Caroline and Dave contemplate on who gets to get the backpack, with Miss Caroline finally giving in and leaving the shop to get the backpack. On her way to the tractor and back to the shop, she encounters plenty of zombies whose heads she decapitates with a shovel. She then helps Felix out with the EpiPen and he's back to normal. Back to the US Army facility, they notice that all the zombies have accumulated near the farm and they decide to bomb the whole shop up. The parents come to know of this breakout and ask the army to get their kids back. The kids go into a panic frenzy and get hungry, so Teddy and Dave head out to get some help. Teddy is back to betraying his friends when he enters the truck and doesn't let Dave in. Teddy dies and Dave is left to fend for himself at the top of Teddy's van. Felix, on seeing this, rushes out of the shop, gets onto a tractor, and once again puts his tractor knowledge to test and saves Dave in the process. He also manages to reach the children after he saves Dave, who hops onto the tractor and drives away in it. The tractor where the kids, Dave and Miss Caroline, is getting away from the zombies when the US Army spots them. They let them pass through, and then the army goes into rampage mode, killing all the zombies in front of them. The kids, Dave and Miss Caroline, are quarantined for the next 48 hours. This causes an uproar among the parents who wish to see their kids. The movie ends with Miss Caroline, Dave, and the kids bonding over a song. The parents, on seeing this, are revealed. Out of all the parents, Tess is quite glad that her brother has finally grown up out of his childish ways, and is very happy to see him in this way. Do you think the title Little Monsters is apt for the movie? What do you think of the character arcs? Comment below. Hope you enjoyed our recap, and we can't wait to have you back on our channel.